Hey, what's up, guys? It's Anime Talker.
Anime Talker.
Before we start, we were actually gonna do the review of Tokyo Ghoul right now,
but we took like a little break after doing 2 podcasts.
And then I was like, hey, let's watch this Goblin Slayer shit. Like, I keep hearing about it. And she was like, yeah, let's watch it, because we were just eating pizza, and then like we start off, and I'm like, we're watching. I'm like, oh god, it's one of those stupid video game animes or something. I honestly, like, I know you guys probably like video game animes, but I don't like those MMO things.
Or like mecha things.
Yeah, and Sword Art Online is like the only one I ever watched that was okay. Like, I'm willing to watch it, but other than that, like Log Horizon or anything like that, I can't watch them. I don't know why. Maybe I'll give them a try one day, but for me, I don't like that type of category. And that's what I was thinking this whole time when we were watching the show called Goblin Slayer, right? It's called Goblin Slayer?
Yeah.
And we're watching it, and I'm like, oh my god. Literally every minute, I'm like, dude, this is so stupid. It's probably one of those...
Yeah, you kept on saying, oh, this is gaming.
This is those gaming ones. Because they were talking in, like, you know, that kind of... Oh, we have a party and stuff.
This is my rating.
But I was thinking maybe, no, they actually use that kind of language for other things.
Yeah.
Not only for gaming. But then we're watching, and I'm like, okay, let's see. It's also based on, like, back then, not that back then, but medieval.
Yeah, medieval times.
Yeah, with magic and sorcery and stuff like that. And then, right now, we have this blonde girl, looks like the main character. And, by the way, this is episode 1, we never even said the...
Yeah,
because this is
we just watched it.
We just watched it right now.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It's crazy.
If anyone, I recommend this show.
Yeah, especially now. It's a good, like, time to watch it, too.
Yeah. It's pretty good. And what was happening was this blonde girl, she looks like she's, a healing kind of light,
in the beginning, it starts off with the girl, and then it just shows her eyes.
And
then
she's
just freaking out. She's like, please stop. Right?
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's like, they always do those scenes where they would show something crazy or something happen or something like that. And then after that, it was showing her, a blonde girl going into like a quest board or something. She was asking like, what to do, like, oh, where should I do or something, and
she's a priestess.
A priestess, and she was handed like this beginner, like, I don't know what they call it.
And then the lady that she was talking to, I guess that's her job that she does.
She's like She gives jobs or gives them jobs,
she gives them quests.
Yeah, quests. She's like, oh, this guy's hiring for this, like, you know, like from Fairy Tail. What's her name? What's her name? Mary Jane. Yeah. She was like.
Yeah, she's like that. Person. So then, she gave her pendant, and that like. It shows what ranking level she is. She explained how,
like beginner. She's beginner, and then if you get like a silver
porcelain is beginner. Yeah. And then the silver is like the highest.
The highest one, and there's one that's higher, but this is the.
Was it bronze that was high?
I don't know.
And then like silver is even higher.
I don't know. We just gotta wait again to watch again because I don't remember much of it.
And so she gave her it. Yeah, and then this guy came up and he was like, hey, you want to join our
party?
Yeah, we're about to do a quest. Do you want to join us? Because, like, we don't have a priestess or a healer. So, like, you'd be, like, perfect.
Yeah, you know, it looked like one of those animes, like, the fun, you know, like, the happy-going and shit. Like, that guy looked like he's, like, a Natsu or some shit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And then we have the lady, she's, like, the one, the quest giver. She's like, are you sure you want to go to this quest?
Yeah, because they're like, we're going to go Goblin slaying.
Yeah, Goblin slaying, which is an advanced, like, thing.
Yeah,
like,
and then, the lady, she was, like, worried, because, like, they're rookies, too.
They're all beginners,
They all had porcelain, like, medals.
And he's like, yeah, we'll be fine. We'll kill them all. And he's, like, bragging, saying, like, So
it was a guy and 2 girls.
Yeah. And then the blonde girl's like, yeah, sure, I'll join your party. Like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I guess.
She was hesitant, but at the same time, I guess. And she looked at the quest person.
Yeah.
And she was like, whoa. She looked worried. She's like, wow, why is she worried? Now, when you think of these type of animes, when you see this, you're like, okay, this guy who's like a Natsu. He's like, yeah, he's gonna beat the living shit out of him, right? Like, he's very strong.
He's confident.
Yeah, and then when she was saying, oh, that's a dangerous task, but then he proves her wrong when he comes back.
Yeah.
Okay, put that into your mind for a second. Yeah. Now they're going into like this cave. Before that, there was like this weird statue, not statue thing, but it's like a stick with bones or something on it.
It was like a symbol.
Like a symbol. Yeah. And they were looking at it, and then they start to go in, and then she starts to back out a little bit. She's like,
yeah, the girl's like, hey, shouldn't we like plan before?
Yeah.
Before we go in, like, and then like one of the girls with like short hair, she's more like of a mean girl.
Yeah, she's like let's compare her. What's her name from Fairy Tail? Kana. How dare I forget?
No, Kana's not mean.
Not Kana, but she's like she's confident and
she's confident, but like she's more of. I won't compare it. I don't know.
I say Kana. Kana's the closest.
Because she's confident. That's why.
Yeah, she's just confident.
But she's a little bit mean. So she's like, "Well, you're backing out already."
Oh, you're talking about the glasses girl.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the other girl.
Short hair.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the other girl. I thought that was a girl. No.
Yeah, the one with red hair. Mm-hmm. She's like, you're backing out already? Come on, man. We didn't even start.
Yeah. And then they keep going and stuff, and then
And then the guy's like, it's okay.
I'll slice them up.
Yeah.
He's like,
sword.
Yeah, and he's like, I actually kicked a bunch of goblins before in my old village, believe it or not. And I'm like, okay, this guy's very confident. You know, like he's gonna beat the freaking shit out of people.
So they found another one of those like.
Yeah, it's like another symbol, like it's like a stick with armor this time, I think, like a little armor, like gold or something.
It was the same thing that they found in the entrance.
Yeah, but this one was gold. It was a gold or something. It was a little bit different.
I guess.
It was just the same item, but it just maybe they had a little bit more stuff on it. I remember.
Yeah, and then the guy and the other girl, with like long hair, they went rushing to it, and then the two girls. Like, because they were, like, running, and then the two girls, like, kind of were, like...
falling back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the blonde girl was still, like, scared.
Yeah, and so they were just looking at it, and they're just like, oh, hey, it's just, like, the one in front of the entrance. And they're like, oh, what does that mean? Yeah. But they didn't really care, so they just kept going.
And then the blonde girl was like, whoa, did you hear that?
Yeah, you know? There was a noise in the background.
Yeah, and then the one that's like like the red hair, short hair, whatever her name.
Yeah, she's like, hey, we should hurry up. We're falling behind.
Yeah, and she's like, you're just crazy. You didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And then the blonde girl's like, no, I did hear something, or something like that. And then she's like, now she started hearing it. The girl.
Yeah, and then the goblins started coming behind them. They were like a little green, ugly.
Yeah, and then they started like attacking, and then the girl with the red hair, the one that was mean. Yeah. She started getting scared, you know?
Yeah, but she, like, hit them. Yeah. She did a spell, and then she hit him.
Yeah.
Hit them. Yeah. And then she tried again, but then one of them got her, and they started attacking her. And then, like, the one with the blonde hair girl, she was, like, freaking out. She's like, oh my god, stop, get away. And then... He can go.
And then she gets stabbed.
Yeah.
This is not like she gets straight up stabbed.
Yeah, and it was so fast.
Like it was so. Oh, when that happened, we both looked at each other. Well, I don't know if she looked at me, but I looked at her. I'm like, holy shit! And then we looked back, and then I'm like, oh my god, it keeps going. And then the other guy comes out of nowhere trying to help, and they're like fighting off.
Yeah, they came, and then she literally got stabbed. Like she had a big, like it was a deep wound, and she looked like she died.
Yeah.
She was like all. Like terrified, and then the blonde hair girl, she tried to heal her because that's what she does.
And it wasn't working because it turns out it was poison.
Yeah, later she found out it was poisoned, and so like they each the guy started like fighting them.
Yeah, and he was killing them. He was killing one or two of them.
Yeah, he was just like backing them away, like swinging his sword, and then the other girl's like, "Hey, like stop! I don't like I can't touch them. I want to beat them up." Yeah. But then she's just like, but he just kept doing it, and then when he tried striking, his sword was really long, so like, and he was in a cave too, so he didn't have any room, and so like he was unable to hit them because like you know that
how tight it is.
So they started attacking him too. And then, like, he started getting beaten up, and it was, like, gory.
Yeah, like, they started, like, cutting his arms, and, like, they were stabbing the living shit out of him, and he's dead. That's it.
Yeah,
he's
and they're freaking out. Like, the girl with the long hair, she was freaking out. Like, they both, like, they're down. Mm-hmm. And, like, the girl with the blonde hair, she couldn't even heal the girl with the short hair.
Yeah, and then...
So, like, she's like, take the wounded girl and leave.
Yeah.
And then she started, like, beating, like, or, like, killing
Yeah.
You know, the little goblins, but she didn't have much an advantage.
Yeah, because she was just like, what, she's using fists?
Yeah, she was
she
using
didn't have
her
any
bare
fists. Swords or anything.
Yeah, and then she got attacked too.
And
so
they were literally hurting her, and then they raped her. And
no, they started ripping her clothes and stuff, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Hey, just go." And like she was basically down. I don't know. And then she was crying too.
Yeah, because she was raped.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy shit!" Okay, so what we got people getting stabbed, poisoned, and then she got raped. And like, oh my god, this is like so intense for a first episode.
And then the blonde hair girl, she took like the one that's wounded. And she started running away, and she was like, I'm sorry. And then the goblins started coming.
Yeah.
Like they came at her, and then they shot her in the arm with an arrow.
Yeah. Oh my god, the brutality of this anime. Yeah. And then after that, she peed herself.
Yeah, and then they were laughing at her.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna do something, but they were just laughing at her. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of mean, you bullies.
And then we have this guy coming out of nowhere, shining armor. Yeah. About to kill everyone.
Yeah, and then he started killing the goblins out of nowhere. Yeah. This guy with the full-on armor and stuff. And then she's just like, who are you? Where do you come from? Help me.
Yeah, that's what I would ask. Like, please help me. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say, who are you? State your business. Like, what the shit? Yeah. And then this guy was just eliminating everyone. Yeah. And then after he did that, he was counting.
Yeah, he was like 1, 2 after killing each goblin.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Felt like a badass.
Yeah, and then when he got down there, he was like helping her out and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
then he saw the girl, and he's like the one that's injured, and it turns out she's poisoned, and he's like, I'm gonna just kill her.
Yeah, so because the blonde haired girl, she was already wounded, and then he gave her a potion. Uh-huh. And then she's like, no, give it to her. She's in critical.
Yeah, but it won't work. It won't work because.
Yeah, and then he's like, nah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. She's already poisoned.
Nah.
And then because she,
nah, it's not gonna work. Trust me.
He pulled out like a little sword from him too, and he showed that it was poison.
It'll be funny because if he's like. She's like, oh, do you don't have enough medicine? No, I have a lot. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, can we just give her one? No, trust me. It's not going to work. Trust me. Trust me. Just trust me.
And she's like, hey, at least try, or maybe we could, like, because, like, after, like, he killed her, well, because she mumbled, she was like, please kill me. Yeah. And then he stabbed her in the neck.
Yeah, because she was in a lot of torture with the poison.
And then the blonde-haired girl, she was like, we could have tried at least, like, we could have taken, like, got help, you know?
And he's like, no, it would have been more pain for her. Yeah, and it would have never worked out. And then after that, he was like, I'm gonna go finish off the rest of the goblins. It's like, what are you gonna do? And she's like, I'm gonna come with you. And he's like, what can you do? Yeah, and she was just asking, what can you do? And then she's like, oh, I can heal. And then he's like, how much? How many?
How many? Like what? Yeah, because like I'm guessing they only have like a minimum amount of spells they can do.
I think it's just about energy. Like, let's just say, like, oh, she can only use 3.
Yeah, and she is a rookie, so...
Yeah, she's a rookie. She doesn't know how to use much.
And then he noticed, oh, you're a rookie? You guys are dumb.
These are dumbasses. Yeah. And then after that, and he's like, okay, come on, let's go. And she's just literally asking all these questions, like, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing this thing for? Yeah, and he's like, oh, how can you see and fight them? He's like, I'm just a professional. I'm just about experience and stuff. Yeah, I'm a goblin slayer. And then they kept
for a living, homie.
Yeah, and then let's just like keep going. We're not gonna do every detail. Yeah. So what happened was she heard the screaming of her friend, and she was in the cave. They went back. Yeah, they went back. Yeah. And then he was like, okay, can you use your light power for me? And by the way, before he said that, he put a trap or something. And
yeah, it turns out the only reason that the goblins came behind them was because there was a hidden cave. Yeah, and it wasn't really hidden. They just didn't notice it. Because before the boy and the guy, they went to the boy and the guy. The boy and the girl, they went to that like symbol thingy. Remember? And then they didn't even notice it. Yeah. And that's why, like, there's...
That's the point of it. It's just to distract you. Yeah. And then after that, they see the cave, and then they're like, okay, can you use your light for me? And then she used her light, and then he just literally just scouted the whole thing. He killed, like, the leader. And then the other one started, and then he ran back. He told her to run back.
He explained how it worked.
Yeah.
Like there's a shaman and stuff.
Yeah, and then he ran back to where he set up the trap, and then all the other goblins started coming. He killed the fat guy, and then she used her light for them. The hobgoblin. And she killed like this big goblin, and then he put gasoline on him and kicked him to the other goblins, and then burned them all.
Killing the rest.
Yeah, and then he went back. No, he didn't go back. He still killed more goblins because he's like, oh, if I go back, they're gonna think I'm still there, right? So he was waiting for them to come out, and he started slicing each one up. Then after he was done with all of them, he went back there, and then he was looking at the shaman. The leader one again. He was pretending.
You can't fool me.
And then he killed him. And then the other girl, the blonde girl, she went to go save her friend that was still there.
Yeah, she found her friend. She was still alive.
Yeah. And then after that, the guy, he moved like the secret door. And what was there was the kids of the goblins. Yeah. And then what did he do? He ended up killing all of them. And then the girl's like, are you really going to kill them all?
Like, they could be good.
Yeah, they could be good. And it was like this whole dramatic thing. And he's like, no, we could wait. But
there's always a possibility that there could be a good goblin. But, like, the majority is bad, you know? So,
And he's like, I'm going to kill them all. Each one, including with little Timmy. Yeah. And then after that... Yeah, and then basically everything, like, they just saved all, like, the girl, the guy of the cave. Yeah. Then the blonde girl was narrating, explaining
like what happened,
like the idea of this, what's going on, like the goblins and all this stuff, and how all there's girls that they get kidnapped by goblins and they get traumatized. And after that, we see the guy again, the guy with the armor, who's the Goblin Slayer. Let's just call him a Goblin Slayer. He said he's a Goblin Slayer. Yeah. And he's like talking to the girl with the quests, and then he's looking to go find another quest, and then the blonde girl comes in, and she's like, "Hey, I bought the armor like you told me," and then she shows him, and he's like, "Okay, cool, that will work." And then she's like, "What are you gonna do?" And like, "I'm gonna go kill goblins," and then
you come in.
You come in, and then
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's go kill some goblins.
And then it ends there. And let me tell you, that episode was very exciting. Like, it was very intense and exciting. I loved it. And
all this detail is needed, okay?
Yeah, all this detail. Like, if you keep hearing this anime and you see it, bro, just go watch it. Just go watch it. It's really entertaining. That's how I found out. I keep hearing people talking about it, and then the first...
That's the first time hearing about it.
Yeah, I heard it when on Twitter and Funimation and stuff, you know? Like, there's there's Dubcast or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, let's try it, you know? And we tried it.
Yeah,
pretty good.
A new anime.
And I think that's it. We're gonna start doing more reviews on this one. Not reviews, but just talking about it. And
we don't even do reviews.
We don't even do reviews.
All the anime we watch is like already good, so like we don't have to say 10 out of 10.
Except for Angels of Death for like those 2 episodes.
Oh, they can be like -5 out of 10.
Yeah. And then I think that's it.
My favorite anime is SpongeBob. Go check it out. You know.
Yeah, it's on
1,000 episodes.
1,000 episodes. Get ready. Squidward versus SpongeBob. All right, I think that's it for today, guys. Go check out our Instagram and Twitter. It's Anime Talk Is Now. And catch us on the next podcast. This was Izzy and...
So what?
And see you guys later.
So bye.
Shut up.